Well, I hope everyone had a happy Easter and Passover and what else? Ramadan, yeah. So for my Easter, I watched Doctor Who and the Legend of the Sea Devils. I can't eat chocolate bunnies anymore because I'm diabetic, and I had to take that way more seriously this year. So anyway, so the show came on, and to be fair, I had trouble paying attention to it. I would get distracted and go look at this and look at the phone and stuff. But overall, this is not one of the worst ones. There have been some shows that that says, "Oh, look, they almost had something," and that kind of thing. This one is just rather basic. The Sea Devils looked fine. They had a flying ship and and stuff like that. There were just odd things where they just rushed through. They trapped the Sea Devil in a net, and it's just I don't know. Of course, the Doctor is some sort of god from another universe, so maybe the Doctor can now just snap nets in reality. And Dan and Yaz were able to pull it up onto the Sea Devil, but he had a lightsaber, so it didn't work. Well, I don't know. He just had this sword with little glowing spots on it. And whatever. They were after some sort of keystone thingy that was going to help them alter the axis of the Earth, so there'd be a new ice age and everything, and it would massive flooding, and they could reclaim the world from those nasty hairless monkeys called humanity. And so there you go. And they kind of utilized what they had so that it didn't seem too bad. And the sets of the ship were okay, but sometimes it would be really good. Other times it was very jarring where it looked cheap and almost like puppet show set design. Stuff like that. But then it was one of these things where when you're dealing with something like the TARDIS, you've got to figure out what to do here. So either the Doctor can't get back to his TARDIS, or her TARDIS in this case, and or you're up against something that's far more powerful, and the TARDIS is not going to be able to handle it, or something like that. Here, you're dealing with the Sea Devils, and they got a big sea monster, and all that. But they just don't bother to use the TARDIS. They could use the TARDIS so that Yaz and the Doctor can have a romantic moment. Yeah, this thing, it's probably just in response to the shipping of those two, which started off pretty early. And so they had some time to try to develop this, but they really didn't. There's really nothing there. There's no comparison to like with Rose and then River and all that, which went on for, three incarnations of the Doctor, Here, it's just all of a sudden she's the most important person to the Doctor, She just says it. So, when you have to spell it out like that, and of course Dan just like, come on, when are you two going to scissor? No, he doesn't say that, but boy, he seems overly interested in these two people that he just sort of knows. You two need to get together. He wants to be the matchmaker, And he gets a phone call from the woman that he's obsessed with for some reason after she completely crapped on him. He's just there to get kicked around, and it's not right. Dan, you could do so much better. She just treated you like crap. But whatever. He's hung up on her, so there you go. So for this history lesson, which is just awful, they get it, is Madame Jane. Now, this was this Chinese woman who was she basically she commanded this giant pirate fleet back in their olden days, and was never captured. They had to cut a deal with her, I think. And now she inherited this. She basically was captured and enslaved by the man who became her husband, and he was the original leader. But then I don't know, he died in a storm or something, and as a result of that, she inherited it. But she just commanded so much respect that she ended up being in charge. And the thing was that she was very clever, and was very intelligent and was good at strategy and whatnot. And plus, she had a buttload of ships and tons of crewmen and all that for her pirates. So she took on the Chinese Navy, she took on the British Navy, and beat them both. So here, because of the cost constraints, she has no crew on her ship. She runs it by herself. And she's played by what looks to be an Asian supermodel. So, and she beats the crap out of men everywhere. And she's really the idiot who released I forgot this part. It starts off with this, looks like a statue of the Sea Devil, and it's like, oh, they've encountered the Sea Devils in some past time, and but she's in search of this, element or what have you, and so she's hacking away at the statue. Well, this turns out it's not a statue, it's the Sea Devil himself, and he's released by this. I don't know, Medusa showed up or something, and so he kills this guy who was trying to stop Madame Chang, and well, his son wants to get revenge for this, ends up becoming a member of her crew, and just says, okay guys, I'm going to hang out with Madame Chang. No, actually she ended up, her second husband was her adopted son. Yeah. But we didn't need to get into that. So anyway, so now she's going to have to rebuild the crew, I guess, in the Doctor Who version of her story. It was just ridiculous. Because they're terrible. They're bad at these things. The best things about it were the people, whoever did the set designs and costumes and stuff, they did good work. The Sea Devils looked pretty good, I thought, and it was kind of, it was reminiscent of how they originally looked and whatever. So that was cool. But that's it. There were ways where they could have eliminated the TARDIS deal, where like the big sea monster, it almost eats the TARDIS, but it would have been interesting if it did swallow the TARDIS where the Doctor had left it on the beach, and that might have been a way to, there, see, you can't go to the TARDIS and solve this real quickly, so now you got to struggle and figure it out. But they decided to struggle and figure it out because, they had a show to do. Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much all you get. She had this sort of Asian outfit on, the shirt really. That's probably a little better than her actual costume, but that's about it. So anyway, yeah, she and Yaz are in love now, and they're women and lesbians, and they want to have sex with each other, and they're women. So make sure you got that. So next one's the last show. So there you go. That's it for Jody. They gave you a little teaser at the end of this to show you what's coming next. Did they give the title? I don't know. I'm sure it's out there, but I just can't be bothered to look it up right now. But anyway, everybody's coming back. I don't know if the evil Tooth Fairy will be there or the evil Fonzie, the racist evil Fonzie, will be there. But the Master will be there. Looks like he got a shave, too. And the Daleks will be there, of course. And oddly enough, the lone Cyberman, which the Master killed. That's odd. I mean, I guess, but he killed him with the compressor, so he shrunk down to nothing, so he didn't get to become one of the Cyber Lords or anything like that. So, wait a minute. Maybe they will retcon the Timeless Child, and all of that stuff has been undone. So now the lone Cyberman's alive again. Fat chance of that, yeah. There were some rumors leaked. Just the other night, I was watching the TARDIS Zone had this. I was on 4chan. And it's possible some people thought that this was the deal, but they went a little further with it because they're, the TARDIS does end up in the mouth of the big sea monster, but it doesn't swallow it. But there was this whole thing, and it was going to puke it up at the end, and then a red London, a telephone booth would come out, and that would be the Master's TARDIS, and that would lead into the next episode or something. Well, that wasn't true. But the other tidbits about it was that Russell T Davies was just going to reboot Doctor Who and start over. And so his Doctor would then be the new first Doctor of a new Doctor Who universe, I guess. I don't have any interest in that. I'm sure he could come up with some good ideas and stuff. But I'd rather you fix this mess. I know it's terrible, and it's done a lot of damage. But if the word gets out that you're fixing it, that will go a long way to get your core Doctor Who fan base back on board. And perhaps, just perhaps, build it back to the heights that it had once achieved. You know? But, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for Jodie, really. The story is you don't get to see who the new Doctor is at the end of her last show, which would probably be the only reason people tune in. They showed the scene of her regenerating, glowing and all that. But that was one of the other rumors, that it would just fade to black. And then you find out who the new Doctor is in the next, in the 60th special. Well, yeah, they might do that. I don't know. But that would probably, if it does just fade to black, you know, like Sopranos, then there might be some truth to this, that Russell T Davies is just going to reboot it and then just forget about everything that happened. Yeah, and then the other lazy option would just be to ignore it, like the Paul McGann movie. He's half human and all that type of stuff. But no, this is far more serious. You can't just ignore it, I don't think. For me, anyway. So there you go, the Legend of the Sea Devils. What was a legend? I don't know. They were there. And they still are, because we know this was way in the, what was it, 1800s or something? And they're going to show up in the 70s for John Pertwee and stuff. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, there you go. That's the second to last Dr. Jodie episode.